And that's how film festivals are. They're like homages to cinema. And that doesn't happen. And the fact that you guys are here right now doing this, it's a sacred thing. And I'm so moved to be part of it. Not as a filmmaker, but as a human.
To be on an island means getting anything here is more difficult than if you're not on an island. And I feel like a lot of times people who live or spend time in places where things are harder make more interesting things because you have to really want it, you know? You have to be like, we should have a film festival here. And so they bust ass and they make it amazing because it's hard.
So islands are a big thing in my life. I like island cultures. I think island people are very different to mainland people. And one of the differences that I like is that they see islands as connected by water. You see, it's not an empty space.
We are very often using the word play, we play. Childhood play, it's related to fun, having fun and pleasure, sharing pleasure. We don't try to reproduce exactly the same show, the same performance every time we present it. So of course, it makes that it's never the same. So it's an evolution.
I discovered, in fact, cinema at 19 years old when because I'm from a small town from Romania, and I went to study management in Bucharest. And one of my cousin invited me to Cinematheque, and we saw La Dolce Vita, and after that I started to go mainly almost every day to see movies there. The theaters, the places where the screenings are, they're really great, and I really think that this festival could grow a lot because now it's just the third edition, but in the same time the way it's already big in a way.
I don't know, my real dream was to be a millionaire. I think that it's the dream of everybody. But I sacrificed that dream for something that is even higher, that is being an artist. It's even more important. Now I am in the path to try to combine both, that it's being an artist and millionaire. Oh, when? Always. I think art is always changing people, but just a few maybe. For me, art influenced me a lot in my life, in my real life. No, really. I never thought about me. I never thought about my happiness, about my own desire. I am not interested. It was a friend of mine, a writer, who said, I do not interest myself.
Well, as a film, I have I remember of one picture that impressed me a lot when I was a child, you know. which is Bambi from Walt Disney, you know. But because I was terrified, completely terrified. I was thinking that my mother was going to be killed in a fire in the forest, you know. I didn't sleep during 1 week, so it was really a trauma, you know. That's maybe why I recall that, and it's one of my first impressions of the power of movies, you know. For me, movies were like escaping of the gray ambience of a dictatorship, you know. We were talking on the Franco era, you know, and then watching movies, even censored, were escaping to another reality.
I tell you what, I mean, I went to this film festival, a showcase of Russian films in Sochi about 2-3 years ago, you know, in the Black Sea. And every year they had a festival of... I was the only foreign filmmaker at that time invited, you know, all the rest was just, you know, the big Russian kind. And I had no idea why the organizers invited me, you know. And in fact, they invited me to show very, very extreme kind of Super 8 experimental work. You know, which was very much about sexuality and about very autobiographical and very, you know, like a diaries and stuff. You know, so I was showing this program, like 90-minute program, in this enormous Stalinist kind of neoclassical thing, which is about 5 times the size of the Parthenon, in this sanatorium town, which is Sochi. And, you know, 2,000-seater cinema. And there were like 50 pensioners, and I'm going, I think this really is the wrong audience, you know? Anyway, there were a couple of young people. The audience within 10 minutes had gone, everyone, right? At the end of the screening, there was 10 young people, like 18 to 24. And they came around and they were going, we think you're wonderful. We love this. And they began to touch me, you know, and they asking things for my autograph and things, you know. And it was because the issues of sexuality at that time, as you know, in Putin's Russia, are very difficult, you know, gay rights and all this sort of stuff, you know. And the next day, the festival program, you know, with my big photograph going about homosexuality as the landscape of whatever, you know, blah, blah. So I had been outed in this, but now I understand why the organizers invited me. You could only get a foreigner to come in and talk about this. But the young people was so kind of appreciative of this kind of aesthetic intervention in actually a rather dull festival. So yes, it does change, you know, yes, it does. You know, maybe like 5 people, 10 people, 50, 100 people, 1,000 people, you know, but it's like something that lives on in time, no?
Making a film's like solving puzzles. My dad was really into crossword puzzles, and I learned chess 3 years ago, and I find it's really great for movie making as well. It's thinking ahead, thinking about the next move, and seeing the bigger picture. So I think you always get excited by, you know, film, whether they're old or new, and seeing the short films here as well. It transported me. It was like some of them made me think about what I'm doing right now in my own movie and how to do it in different ways, and it was very inspiring. You know, it's inspiring to be on the jury because like you're learning from other filmmakers too. You know, so you know, I'm enjoying it a lot. You know, actually.
Retrospectives, even guests and people that we've brought to the festival will inform the festival in the ways in which they'll contribute or come back, even create works on Syros curate stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that the momentum is very much there. Yeah.
One thing I'm thinking of is want to create a festival in a really impossible place that I love a lot, with a quality projection and program that had no excuses and no compromises.
To make a film, like really generally, you need to have people working with you. And so to make a film and watch a film requires a certain kind of group effort or commitment. And I was interested in that.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like I've landed in Venice by sea, or like I'm somewhere like San Sebastian. It's got a piece of this, a piece of that. It's got a feeling of culture here, and the spaces have been wonderful to see the movies and see some music and live performance. And yeah, I'm finding it, you know, really, really inspiring in a way that I don't with some of the more industrialized festivals. So I'm really glad I came. Yeah.
I like that the festival that Aaron and Jacob and y'all, it's so intrepid, forging ahead. Doesn't matter that there aren't paths already laid to make it work. Instead, they just think big and don't sleep.
It's perfect. As you said, the Iceland is a paradise. The selection is very good. People like you is very good also. And the venues are beautiful, which is quite unexpected to have this kind of theaters and cinemas in an island like this.
It's definitely a place where foreign filmmakers could come and show work, and also audiences here and also from overseas could come, you know, and combine, you know, having a fairly good time with actually quite serious cinema watching and viewing and discussion. You know?
It's great. It's great for the island. Have a cultural life. Syros is amazing for its cultural life, in fact. I mean, there's a dance festival going on now as well. So you've got this electronic music thing, you've got the film festival, you've got the dance festival. This tiny island. Beautiful.
Tellement dense que ça a été l'un des plus grands ports, donc on peut s'imaginer, même quand on voit dans les rues ces deux églises, enfin les orthodoxes, les catholiques, ces échanges avec les Français, on sent qu'il y a eu beaucoup de choses et que ça, de toutes les mers, quoi, les Vénitiens sont venus, et donc finalement le festival permet encore à des gens de venir en amenant une culture, une vision différente, des manières de faire, et ça peut continuer, c'est pas mal.
I'm not the first one to say I should come again because there is so much things.
I hope if the people keeps putting so much energy in it and handling this thing as well as they are handling until now, only 3 years, you know, this is going to last longer. Yeah. I would like to come again. So
What these guys are doing, what you guys are doing here, is reconstructing memory of the desire for cinema. And I think it's really amazing that it's happening here.